In June 1965, my granddad took his family on a big road trip through West Texas. He documented the trip with his Canon and developed the images as Kodak slides. They were stored in a box in a barn for decades until they were given to me. I recently restored them and was impressed with not only the quality of the images, but obviously the nostalgic trip back in time. For spring break 2024, I took my own family on a big road trip to West Texas and retraced some of Granddad's steps. I rendezvoused with Uncle Skipper in Terlingua with these restored images on hand and recorded our conversation as I showed them to him. Granddad was 35 at the time, Grandmom was 34, my Uncle John was 10, my mom 8. After leaving their home in Houston, Granddad picked up my Uncle Skipper, who was attending Texas Military Institute in San Antonio. From there, they headed south.
That's Port Aransas. There's a porpoise out there. They're still there now. Look at those old cars. And there's back to Port Aransas to the crossing. So on that trip, we went down to Big Shell. That's on Padre Island. Port Aransas is Mustang Island. So we went over to Padre Island. We went down to Big Shell. This is Bracketville. Yeah, this is Bracketville. Happy Shahan's place. He did the mock-up of the Alamo, and they shot in multiple movies there. The Duke shot the Alamo there, John Wayne, others. Oh God, that's me up there.
Mm-hmm. Look at you, skinny thing, you.
Where are we? Is that? This is the Pecos River Bridge, High Bridge here at Pecos River. And so that would have been Acuna where we were in Mexico at Del Rio. This is all Pecos River overlook. There's the High Bridge in the background. Judge Roy Bean. There's the front porch of Terlingua and the Starlight. The chili cook-off is what kind of got your granddad's attention.
When Granddad wasn't working, he was getting into adventures. He was a pilot and loved to fly or drive to faraway locations and soak up the natural beauty and history of the places he visited. He was a hunter and a fisherman too, but more than anything, he was an artist with a free spirit and a tortured soul.
Geez, those mountains. Been seeing the whole time.
Yeah.
You saw it today. Probably coming out of the basin. You see it. You see it coming across from Panther Junction over here. You look off, you see Santiago. There's Cathedral Mountain.
That's you with a rabbit.
It is sinister.
You're in your underwear.
This, you drove past these houses on the way down to Santa Elena from Castellon.
He painted that.
He painted that.
And I have it.
Oh, you have the painting.
I have that painting.
Yeah. And I started to say that. And I let that
Yeah.
picture get by because I knew. I knew the picture, and then I saw him paint it later.
Do you know where that is?
Yeah, that's on the road to Santa Elena from Castellon. There we are, looking out through the window, looking down into the basin. There's Terlingua Creek, Santa Elena Canyon. The Mexican side is called the Peguis. dead rattlesnake, then where I nearly shot myself in the foot. This was the camp house we stayed at on, there's the boat on top. I didn't realize we took it to Big Bend too. Of what was the original ranch house where my dad went. He went in the summer times. His granddad had a connection with the owner, perhaps a business associate. And he would go out there by train to Alpine, and they would take him and he'd mend fences and work cattle and all that stuff for the summer. Well, there's my brother Ernest there. Johnny and Becky's in the swimming tank. This was a sifting tray.
Yeah.
And we used to sift for things. Of course, you can't do that in the park, but we might have done a little of it. There's some worked pieces of flint, and there was a good arrowhead on the far left. Fort Davis, the fort at Fort Davis was built to secure the states line. That's the Guadalupe River at Hunt. This place, this Indian camp that we went to, it's on a section of river. There's the people. That's the people's house right there.
There's
That's the
a
guy.
turtle.
What was his name? Dick Tanner, I think. I was sleeping below their house on a shelf down on the Guadalupe River, and I'm lying there asleep, and I'm hearing dogs. And I wake up and I look, and there comes a flashlight, and a guy with dogs, and they go right past my cot, and as they were on the trail of a mountain lion, and they just ran right by me off into the dark, and I was like, I didn't sleep at all.
And that's where the road ends. Until the next time, happy trails.